All right, and welcome to episode 2 of the RWBY Theorycast. Fair warning, if you have made it this far without realizing, this will have spoilers for Volume 4, Episode 2 of RWBY. So, be warned, that's gonna happen. Um, first off, the theme songs, the intro's growing on me. I liked it, but, it didn't really hit home with me until this episode, I think. I think having it at the start helps.
Yeah, the first episode, it kind of...
They always have it at
I
the
didn't
end.
actually know that was the intro until after the first time I'd seen it. It's like, okay, I guess they just had this little clip at the end for no reason. Is that our outro? No, that's actually going at the beginning. Boy.
Oh yeah, one thing I noticed just before we get into the episode proper, at the end shot where Team Ruby is all standing on that glassy surface with the mountains and all that, Blake doesn't have her bow on.
Nope, she's gone full funness, just like her parents.
Yeah.
I have to think she
Got
probably
this.
doesn't wear it very much anymore.
Yeah, around her parents, I'd think that she doesn't wear it that much.
Well, beyond even that, I hate to be kind of cynical, but that was probably the worst hiding plan ever.
It worked for 3 volumes.
I think it worked because nobody was looking for her, not because it was excellent hiding strategy.
That's fair. Anyway, so I believe Winter's got our first discussion of the actual episode.
Okay, so when the episode starts, basically, you're watching Weiss walk through this giant mansion. Like, it is vacant, it is huge, it is elaborate, and there's giant armor things, and then there's a freaking statue of the King Taiju, the whatever.
King Taijitu.
That thing. Thank you. And then we get Whitley. We get Whitley.
Dirtbag
bless-
that he is.
A blessing to humanity.
He's special in the sense that he's a brat, and we can tell. But what kind of brat, I guess, is up to interpretation, really, right now, because we've only seen just that brief interaction. My, I guess, main thing with him is, well, he told Weiss that she was strong like Winter, which is quickly followed up with, but you never liked Winter. I want to know why. I want to know why. I want to know
From
everything
what we've
about the
seen, she's
state.
great with people.
Well, she never solves her problems with violence. That's what I like about her.
No, I mean, not at all. She's definitely a diplomat.
I don't even think we've seen her weapon yet. Like, gosh.
I know, right? She's just so pacifistic. Just
How does she even have the same semblance? I don't even know.
Oh, jeez.
Um,
Oh, goodness.
of course, we're being quite facetious.
Obviously.
yes. But, yeah, so Whitley's a little shit.
At least you're blunt with it.
Yeah.
Obviously the favorite of the family.
Oh, yeah,
God,
totally.
yes.
See, I think I think he's aware of that, and he knows what's up. I don't know if he likes it, but he's doing that thing where he's gonna pretend he doesn't know, but he's playing people. He's gonna be playing some people.
hmm I don't think he has a high opinion of their father. I think he's willing to pretend he does, but I really don't think he has a high opinion of Jacques.
Fucking
I
Jacques.
still hope at one point Jacques just takes off his mustache and glues it to Whitley, be like, "You're the man of the house now."
That comic was great.
You're in charge now.
That, and then there's the Schnee emblem everywhere in that freaking
Just
Yeah.
in case you forgot whose house it was.
Marking territory.
Also, the giant armor Weiss fought in the white trailer is house decoration confirmed.
Yeah, like what? It's like, no, Weiss, you can't go to Beacon until you defeat the decor.
Look, it's great around Christmas, let me tell you.
They hang ornaments off the armor instead.
Yeah, exactly.
They hang more armor on the armor
They
decorations.
stack armor on it.
I
Armor
bet they hang.
stacking, too OP.
I bet they hang tabards from it.
Jeez. And we also in here learned that their mother's alive, who we
Yes.
hadn't heard about at all in volumes.
And
Well-
drinking in the garden.
Yeah, whatever that means.
I think we were all assuming she's alcoholic, right?
Winter and I are reserving judgment, but that's the general consensus,
I'm
yes.
just saying.
Are you reserving or are you hoping? There's a difference.
I'm good either way as far as my blog goes and running it for my muse, because
We're gonna word that as cautious prayer.
either way works for me. Honestly,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I don't mind if she is or she isn't, but I honestly just don't think one line is enough to say she's an alcoholic.
Well, if she
And-
is an alcoholic, it could be the reason why Winter reacted so vehemently to Crow's drunkenness.
that is also true.
That's possible.
Also true. I have a theory about that when we get to the Jacques part. Again, fucking
We get to a Jacques.
Jacques Schnee. It sounds like someone sneezed and called it a name. But anyway, we'll
Yep.
Yeah, and
I
then
mean-
okay, and then there's the line where Whitley's talking with Weiss, and blathering on, and he says that their father was yelling at someone. Her immediate reaction is asking if it was their mother, which then we get that their mother's drinking in the garden. So obviously this will probably come back up again in Alex's section, but there's questionable status of the relationship between Mr. and Mrs. Schnee.
Mm-hmm.
It strikes me that it seems to be very political, not very much by choice.
Mm-hmm. Which again, we'll get back to the intricacies of Mr. Schnee when we get to his part.
I hate his name. I can't.
His name.
It
doesn't. He's just Mr. He's Mr. Sneeze to me. Just Papa Sneeze.
But yeah, there's also the whole, family portrait where all the women look miserable.
God, Winter looks so upset.
Honestly, the remark to me, the only one that looks actually to be moderately enjoying themselves is Whitley.
Yep, and it's because he's the favorite, and he was probably too young to realize what a dick his dad was.
Or he was.
Yeah.
One or the other, but that comes up later, right?
You haven't learned self-loathing yet.
Oh my god.
Little did we know, self-loathing is also part of the Schnee semblance.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's actually not a lot to say about that scene. It was a conversation, and then it was done.
Conversation and painting.
I don't think Whitley's evil, for what it's worth. I know a lot of people are thinking he's gonna be a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's just a
He's-
brat.
He's a player though. He knows what's up.
He's the smarmiest 15-year-old, is what he is.
Well, depending on what they actually say his age is, and I
Yeah.
think we're kind of assuming that's his age.
So real quick, before we get any further, I realize who Mr. Schnee reminded me of.
Yeah.
Sanders?
No. He reminds me of a more, I guess, mature version of Jacques de Hamsterville from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh my
God, yeah.
They share the name, and he's so angry about everything.
He's now a gerbil.
But yeah, we'll talk more about his temperament and all that in the part where it's his scene. Actually, we could just lump them together. I don't know. You can tell there's a lot of planning that went into this. We could lump the Schnees and Ranger into two separate things.
I mean, why not? Let's do it.
All right.
Anybody else want to object?
I
This
mean,
means we're gonna go on a Schnee rant for a bit.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get this all out because we all got something to say.
mhm.
Eh,
And Lee's just over there like,
He's just got that uncommitted noise.
I'm not getting involved.
And a non-committal handshake.
yeah,
Not as invested in this as the rest of us.
yeah.
I
I
know
mean,
I'm invested in this for other reasons.
I mean, it makes sense to do it this way just because we're already talking about him. We are.
Yeah.
So
what kind of fucking name is Jacques Schnee?
it literally,
Throw that out right now.
it literally sounds like someone sneezed and called
I
it a name.
still have
Therefore-
a hard time calling him by his name.
he's
I just think
po-
it's ironic the one French name in the German family is the outsider.
he's Papa Sneeze. That's all he is to me now. That's all he is.
But yeah, just talking about Winter's aversion to alcohol. Literally, the very first shot.
We're going with my characterization of Winter
Yes.
here.
Well, no, she was angry. She was angry
Well,
that
okay,
Crow was
yeah,
drunk.
I don't know if it's because he was
Annoyed.
drunk or because it's him.
Well,
We don't-
that-
Because they got into a fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, she's
Look,
she
you
told
don't
him-
throw down in the middle of the street?
I
well,
mean,
yeah, she basically said, well, she did say, I don't have time for your immature games, Crow. So, I mean,
yeah. But, I mean,
he could have been drunk, he could have been
Fairly
sober and being a dick, and she probably would have still gotten it.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about alcohol, literally the first thing we ever see of Jacques Schnee that's not a cardboard cutout at the end of Volume 3 is him slamming a glass of whiskey down on the table.
Classy.
It was
Um,
apple whiskey.
God damn it, Stabi.
Now is not the time for this.
But if you look back at that scene, he's the only one drinking. Ironwood is not drinking alcohol in that scene. Now,
I'm assuming his liver's
Water.
probably made out of machines at this point.
all the more reason to drink, man. You can't kill a machine liver.
I think you probably can.
But right away, like literally, the first line paints him as such a dick. Also, his voice is not what I expected his voice to be. Like,
Did you expect a Torbjorn voice?
I like it. Literally sounds like he should be going
He's
and
Skeletor?
and like like twirling a handlebar mustache.
I'll get you, He-Man.
Hey, man!
Ironwood, I'll get you.
You see, you're mocking him, but that was shockingly close to his actual voice. I don't know, man. He's a capitalist asshole.
It is. I'm listening to it as I listen to you guys. I'm sorry. His voice
Um,
is so fucking ridiculous, like his name.
He's a dick. And we also learned something very important, that Ironwood has stopped all shipment of dust to the other kingdoms.
There's an embargo.
That's a big deal.
Embargo.
Yep. I feel like Ironwood is sort of like he's taking the policy of pray for peace, prepare for war. He is sort of seeing that the other kingdoms are not letting go of this whole it's Atlas's fault thing, and he's going, look, if they're possibly going to declare war on us, why should we hand them the gun to shoot us with?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, to everybody else, they'd be like, oh, they're hoarding dust. Oh,
Exactly.
they're
I
gonna-
feel like
exactly.
The flip
that's no matter
side.
what you do, you're kind of screwed.
We're damned if we do and damned if we don't.
Yeah.
Basically.
And
And then, oh, sorry.
Atlas Academy is shut down for now.
I feel like they're just on off season.
Possibly.
Because like they did just get back in the final tournament just end.
That's possible. Well,
and
and-
quotation marks.
Well, my point was being is that they weren't planning. I'm under the impression they weren't planning to resume session.
That's fair.
Immediately.
Although remember, it has been about 6 to 8 months. So
true. Well, then 6 months, you could easily be in the middle of out of session. Like, just straight up, classes end if you're not in the year-long.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we don't even know how their school year works, really.
I want a World's Remnant episode on that. Can we get that, Rooster Teeth? That'd be great.
Yeah, the school years of Huntsman Academies.
Are they year-round? Are they on American time?
I feel like they can't be year-round because at the start of Volume 3, RWBY was home.
That's true. But
She could have been visiting, like a weekend.
That's
Patch
true.
isn't that far from...
Yeah.
That's true. It is not that
Take
far.
ownership there.
Right. So back to something that Lee said earlier. Jacques is he's a very political man. He's very much invested in the politics of Atlas. Whether he's on this council that runs Atlas or not remains to be seen, but he absolutely has a big interest in the political side of Atlas.
Well, of course, they just lost him.
Millions.
Yeah, billions and millions of dollars. Like,
Yeah.
Leanne.
RWBY bucks.
Yeah.
Millions of Leanne.
Yes. This is like he is an invested interest, especially given I assume the SDC is a major exporting company. It's not.
Well, it's
Atlas isn't consuming all of it. They're exporting the majority of what they get.
it's highly implied the SDC has a monopoly on dust production in Atlas.
Yes. Well,
If not,
maybe
is.
outside of Atlas.
Yeah, if not the monopoly of dust production in Remnant.
Now here's the other thing I noticed. He's like, "Oh, you're costing me millions." Yeah, we could be going to war,
Yeah.
but it's costing me millions.
Yeah.
He's very focused on himself and
Oh.
what he wants.
Oh yeah.
I hate to say it,
heck.
being in big business does not engender philanthropy.
It very much does not. No.
It's like, no, if I want to keep making money, I can't be giving it away.
Not that he needs it. The house is fucking huge already. Sorry,
You
everyone.
can
I'm
always
cursing
get a
lot.
bigger house. I'm just saying.
Oh,
For 20 hours.
yeah, post whatever warning. Winter and I get heated about Jacques Schnee, and I'm pretty sure Blake and Stabi are going to get heated about Jacques Schnee as well. The only one here who
we're-
doesn't have a rather large horse in this race is Lee. He's just sort of here for this part.
I'm
Lee's
just
waiting
here,
for
man.
judgment.
I'm just one with the universe and all
Lee's
that.
waiting
man.
to learn more before passing.
I ain't gonna kill nobody. I swear.
Whereas, a lot of us, most of us in this chat have very strong feelings about this man who.
For
It's-
different reasons.
It's worth saying we are absolutely not giving him any benefit of the doubt here, and we will
Oh, God,
freely admit that we came into this not wanting to like him, and we
Yeah.
left not liking him, shockingly.
Right.
So if you're
Alex,
looking,
I
I'm
wonder how that
horribly
happens.
biased.
yeah,
To
so
be fair, I gave this guy a chance, and I'm
I
like,
did
I'm
not.
gonna go into this episode, and I did. I went into the episode on neutral ground, and then within 10 seconds, because I'm very particular about dialogue characterization, 10 seconds, I'm like, okay, I don't really like you, and then it just exponentially spiked until the next transition where I'm like, no, I do not like you at all.
I will freely admit I went into this scene going, say something to make me hate you, say something to make me hate you.
I can confirm, as I was getting messages at work, worrying that our headcanons would be incorrect.
Yes,
into
I
this episode.
desperately needed to be right about at least a portion of the headcanons we have.
Well, it's regardless of the headcanons. I mean, Weiss herself admits that this is not a.
A happy household.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that, to be fair, that could easily just be her perspective, but that doesn't necessarily inherently make her wrong either.
Correct.
Mhm.
Though, there are obviously people among the fandom who think otherwise.
Or thought otherwise. I haven't seen any Papa
Right.
Schnee defense
That is
posts
true.
since this episode.
That is true.
Well, now that we have confirmation, it's easier to take a side on it. Whereas if beforehand, it's like, look, you could be wrong.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So I don't want to dominate the conversation, but Winter and I are going to dominate the conversation.
At least until you get to the part where I get to pick apart dialogue.
Jacques has his desk positioned literally above everyone else in the room. Literally, you have to climb stairs to get to his desk.
Yep.
Alex, you've played Mass Effect, man. It's just good leadership strategy.
Also, he sat in front of a giant painting of a younger him.
Yes.
He's so very narcissistic.
Are we sure that's the younger him? Maybe that's his cousin.
Yeah, he's just so
Why
affectionate
would
with his
he have a
cousin.
picture
No,
of his cousin?
that's Jacob Schnee.
Yeah, exactly. It's Lord Farquaad Schnee, as we
Oh
keep
my
calling him.
god.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
That's also going with the assumption that he is
A Schnee.
originally a Schnee.
Yeah.
There's a theory out there that he married into that name rather than how it traditionally is where the women take the last name. Well, in this case, he might have done that.
Because-
Why? Well, because there's a big old franchise here.
There's
whatever,
not only
company.
one painting, but two paintings showing that he does not have naturally white hair, which is a trait of the Schnees.
Correct. Whereas the father does have the white hair.
We're not actually sure if it's just the Schnees. That being said,
True.
No.
all the women and Whitley have it.
Yeah, we're not
That
saying
is
that
true.
we're not saying that everyone who has naturally white hair is a Schnee. We're saying that
Oh, no.
everyone who is a Schnee has naturally white hair.
Looks
Big
at this
difference.
guy.
Naturally white hair, blue eyes.
Which he does have
Hair
two.
complexion.
He does have two of the three things to be a Schnee, which is naturally
I'm
white
unwilling
hair.
at this
and-
point to say that he's not a Schnee.
Oh, we're not making concrete statements here, Lee.
This is Theorycast, man.
The point of
We don't
this is to
have
wildly
We
speculate.
should stick with theory, not wild speculation.
Look, man, you watched the first season of Game of Thrones when he's going through all the genealogies, and it's like, wait a second, this kid's hair color's wrong. He's obviously an incestuous bastard child. I mean, he was right,
Well, you
but-
were right one time, and suddenly every other time we have to start looking at the genetics.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is how this works.
Monty did say he liked Game of Thrones.
That's absolutely
I
true.
think we saw why.
Mhm.
That might not have anything to do with that.
So, Stabi, you said you wanted to start deconstructing dialogue?
Oh, Hey, Blake, you want to help me out with this?
I don't remember his dialogue in verbatim, but I could definitely help out.
Well, that verbatim part is... Well, that might help a bit, but... Alright, so, let's get to the part where...
Man.
Let's get to the
just do
part...
it TLDR.
Yep, let's
Let me
Ruby's
put
start...
it this way real quick. I rewatched the part that I was given, the Ranger Part 2, so I didn't watch the whole episode over again.
I know, I rewatched the part, so I'm not gonna quite get it at verbatim, but I'm gonna get those two anyway. So let's talk about when Weiss walks into the room. So Jacques is he's mad at Ironwood and he's kind of going at it, and then they realize Weiss is in the room, and his tone changes. Something
Yeah.
a little bit more
Yeah.
professional.
Yup.
And sure,
Authoritative.
yes, that's yeah. So, and then Ironwood leaves, and then his tone changes again, and
Cute.
I did not like it at all. This was the tone. This is a tone that sent me signals of, okay, you're an asshole. It was a hoity-toity, I'm above you And even the words after he asks Weiss, "Did you forget your manners?" Like, excuse me?
To be fair, she did just get caught eavesdropping on people.
It wasn't eavesdropping. She was called into his office. She went into his office.
I'm pretty sure you're not, Alex, like, I think we're splitting hairs here. I'm pretty sure most people know. If someone's having a conversation in a room, and you know you're not part of that conversation, you're not really entitled just to walk into it.
It's her house. Anyway.
Well, I feel like he views it as his house.
The way Weiss responds is basically, "I'm sorry, father."
Subdued.
It's
I don't want to
And that
fight. I'm just gonna say what you want me to say, and
it was submissive, basically. So then Jacques starts complaining about the embargo, basically, and basically calling Ironwood an idiot. He says it in such a way that he's being made the victim.
Which, to be fair,
he kind of
is.
From a business perspective, he is.
He is from
in
the
a
business
very
standpoint.
blunt sense, he did nothing to trigger this. And all of a sudden,
Which would be true. Like, it is
there's no
true.
wood. It very much.
It
He
is
didn't
true.
do
I'm
anything.
getting old.
Ironwood did a thing, and then they
He
got
did do
in
a
a lot
thing.
of trouble.
Now, see, this wouldn't seem so bad, except he continues talking. And Weiss is like, "No, I trust Ironwood's decisions and whatnot." And then Jacques gives out this idea to hold a charity event. And the reasons why... Like, I just want to rip this guy's mustache off of his face.
Once again, 4 of the 5 of us are heavily biased against this man.
I feel like I should just have a podcast of myself, because apparently I'm going to come here and have to break headcanons. Like, look, from a pragmatic sense, he at least has a point for business-wise. I'm not agreeing, but like from a business standpoint, absolutely. We need to put a PR spin on this immediately.
Lee, I don't have headcanons for any of this. I'm doing stuff based on what I saw, and I didn't like what I saw. Anyway.
You didn't see very much.
I saw enough. I didn't like what I saw. Anyway, he decides that they're going to hold this charity event, and he goes, "Well, it would be nice if you sang at the event," and you being Weiss, where Weiss goes from, "Oh yeah, this charity event's a good idea," to, "Excuse me?" And it's because a Schnee was there.
Yeah.
There being at the Fall of Beacon.
Which, to be fair, she was.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
But
But he wants to use it for further advancement for his company, for PR, not being sensitive to what she may or may still be going through from that
I hate
incident.
to be a very cruel, cynical person, but it isn't always about the child. And sometimes there are bigger things than what a child wants to do. I don't want to be like that, but there is a degree of like, look.
Well, in general,
I'm not agreeing with the position. I'm just saying.
No, well,
I understand.
in
like,
general, I agree.
What you want, kid, does not really matter. There are way more people involved in this than you.
Okay, but there's a difference between what a kid wants and someone and your daughter who has literally watched people die and has been in a combat scenario far before she was meant to be, far before she was prepared to be, and might still be suffering negative repercussions because of it, and then saying, "Hey, do you want to do this thing that will probably remind you very heavily of that traumatic experience you had?"
But Alex, she went to a combat school. She was at Beacon. There was no, she knew what she was getting into. She talked to Dang Arbor to get there.
Tangent aside, it's not about what he said, it's about how he said it. And how he looked while he was saying it.
I think you're just, my point still stands. I think this is a bit reaching. With what we have.
See, I'm not gonna go in a whole blah blah black story, story time. But when Weiss straight up asks, "Are you asking me to, or are you telling me to?" Jacques didn't give her a straight answer. He almost avoided giving her a direct answer and just sat there, leaned forward, and said, "I bet it would make a lot of people really happy," which was him repeating something he has said before, which was appealing to Weiss's sense of doing better for people. Which in
a purely pragmatic manner, she would be.
Yeah, because that's what she wants to do.
Yeah, and it's why she agrees. But it's the fact that he's using this to essentially guilt her into doing this that's not okay.
Fair enough.
And he could have just straight up said yes or no. He just could have said, "No, I'm telling you to do it." But no, he just repeated himself.
The thing is, isn't that a damned if you do, damned if you don't, though? Because wouldn't you guys just be as pissed off about that?
Oh, absolutely. But if it would have been... We're pissed off that he's not asking her. That's what we're pissed off about. It's not you have a choice.
Did we at all come into I hate to say, if you're in Big's business, you don't ask people to do things.
If he had just...
It's not their decision to do it.
If he... Basically, I would have been better off if he just straight up said, "I'm telling you this is what we're doing and you need to help."
It would have seemed less underhanded.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a direct, "Yes, I'm telling you to do this."
To put it this way, essentially, guilt tripping is a manipulation tactic that can easily fuck with someone's head. Whereas if you just told her to do it, yeah, it would seem shitty, but it's a direct order instead of being like, "Oh yeah, if you don't do this, you're probably going to feel like a shitty person because you're not making other people happy other than yourself." Whereas if you just told her to do it, be like, "Yeah, you're doing it."
I know, but we're coming in with the supposition that she outright wants to help other people to begin with.
Because
it's not like he's lying to her. She outright is helping other people by doing that.
Again, it's a manipulation tactic, though. That's the thing.
It may be true. That doesn't make it less manipulative.
I just think we're attributing a bit more malice here than is actually necessary.
I don't. I straight up don't. I do not see what you are seeing, Lee.
Fair enough.
All right, is anybody... words? English? Press 1 for English. Don't press 1 on your keyboard.
Ironwood has stubby arms.
Yes.
He looked like a G.I. Joe doll. I was like, does he have kung fu grip?
His outfit's too big.
I was like, do you have extra shoulder pads there, Ironwood? Because you got a lot of space under both of your arms.
It makes me think of A Christmas Story where the kid can't put his arms down.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Arms down.
I feel bad for Ironwood, actually.
Yeah, he's been through some shit.
Not only is he forced into a political standpoint where he is definitely more a militant mind, but now he's having to deal with so much shit and making decisions that's pissing powerful people off, and he has to literally pull the fact that he has 2 seats of power at this point. He's working his ass to the bone, and he's dealing with people being pissed at him like, "Yes, I understand you're pissed at me. I'm doing my best. Fuck off for a moment. I'm trying to fix this."
In any political situation, you can't tell the people you're beholden to fuck off.
Excuse me, we all know...
I'm just putting that out there. You can't do that. It doesn't work.
I was just like...
I've tried.
Here's the other thing. The other person that probably would have backed him up is Ozpin. And guess who's gone?
Yeah.
Ozpin.
Also, Lee...
This is what happens when you start making deals with people in secret circles.
Lee, you may not be able to directly tell people to fuck off, but you sure as hell can imply it.
That's fine, but again, you just cost people billions of dollars, probably a lot of people jobs,
Well,
And created an
Mr.
international
Schnee
incident.
has a questionable-
You done effed up seriously, man. You're lucky you weren't fired on the spot.
well, Mr. Schnee has questionable business practices as far as employees go.
Oh,
so
I know.
We don't
but,
know.
Like, I'm not, regardless of his position. Like,
Right.
No,
Yeah.
but no, I totally
International
get it.
incident.
Yeah, all because
and
you
then-
left all your command data on your fucking phone.
Yeah.
We have impeached people for less in America.
And then my main question of this is, we're in the Schnee household. We're seeing all these characters. We're seeing other characters interact with them. Where the fuck is Winter?
She's off doing Ironwood's job because he's about to get fired. Duh.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if Ironwood was fired by the end of this volume.
Like, I feel like the fact that they mentioned he has 2 seats, I'm like, I feel like that's gonna come back later.
I feel like he's gonna die.
Well, that and the way that Mr. Schnee said the council won't stand for this, I feel like he is on the council, but that's why Ironwood brought up the fact that he has 2 seats on there. So he kind of...
Here's the thing. Here's my prediction. I'm calling it right now. Official Alex prediction. Ironwood's
With
gonna
the
get...
seal of approval.
Yes, Ironwood is gonna get sacked. He's gonna get kicked off the council. He's gonna get stripped of his rank. He's gonna not be in charge of Atlas Academy anymore. Like 2 or 3 episodes down the line, Mistral or Vale or Vacuo or someone is going to declare war on Atlas, and they're all going to go, "Oh shit, Ironwood was right," and then
Too late.
Yeah.
that is my prediction. That is my prediction. That you can
Well, it's
you
also
can quote me on
pull a
this.
full change of hats on every single political body, because it seems like Salem's plan is to hit every single one of the kingdoms. Well, you start every single one of them knows the story with the maidens. Well, if they're not in charge, I doubt everyone's going to come out and say, "Oh, hey, you need to know this."
Yeah.
I don't think Ironwood's got the backup plan. Was like, "Hey, look, you need to know about this stuff."
Side note, I think one of the reasons Ironwood isn't already fired is the council put him there in the first place. The council put him in Vale
They fucked up.
in the first place.
Yeah.
So to fire
a
him,
quote.
it's like, you fucked up, but we put you there, so it's also our fuck up. So we're just gonna pretend no one fucked up.
I tend to go on the opposite view of just like they're not like if you look at the American system for politics, they're just not in session.
Assuming that they're anything like the American system, which
I know. I'm just saying, like, a lot of legislative bodies aren't in session year round. They are actually off season.
That's true, but when you need to impeach the president, people get together pretty quick.
Good thing he's not a president.
Yeah, good thing Atlas is ruled by fucking committee.
Yeah,
They
it's actually
all
really
are,
questionable
actually.
how that works.
Yeah,
They all are.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good thing that, as far
I
as we
think
know,
that
the
was in one of
kingdoms.
the World of Remnants a while back.
Yeah, the kingdoms are
Yeah.
are ruled by council, not fucking. They don't have one leader.
This seems like a terrible idea.
It really does. So yeah. Right. There's still one more thing. The happy part of that scene. Fucking Klein.
Best
Let's
character
talk-
in this entire series.
Let's talk about how Klein is just awesome and he deserves a hug.
And
Winter, can you explain Klein? Just Klein and Steven?
Klein.
The
okay.
name.
Klein is small. Steven is 7. Small 7.
yeah, he's the Seven
German.
Dwarfs.
He's 7 dwarfs.
Also, he should be Weiss's dad. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing.
much
I
is
bet he
Weiss's
did
dad.
quite a bit of raising of all of the
He's
children.
pretty much dad. It's Uncle Klein.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, as any rich household, the parents, especially if you're in big business, you're not around all the time. You're doing business stuff. You're traveling. You're doing other things. Like, no, so he probably took care of the kids a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why he immediately knows, okay, yeah, something wrong with kid. We need to do thing.
Also, immediately, like, she came out of that room in a sour mood. And
Very upset.
literally, she turns around, Klein's there, smile on her face.
Boom. Done.
I love him. I
One of
love
my-
him.
One of my favorite lines from Klein is I don't believe this is the exact quote, but just like, "There's my happy snowflake." Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
think that is an exact
That
quote
is.
even.
Also, he is willing to fucking make fun of Jacques literally
is.
outside his
outside
office.
his door.
right
I
outside.
love that.
Like, this guy's gonna get fired, but he done won at life.
I love him so much.
You know what?
Speaking of Klein, he makes crepes.
Yes, he makes crepes.
Yes. And Whitley likes them.
Now crepes are no longer cool. That nerd likes them.
Look,
Ah.
The only reason Klein is still there, because I bet Klein sassed Jacques in the past, the reason he's still there is because he's all the kids' favorite.
Yeah.
You can't fire him. He's too good.
Yeah, he's
Just
the
the
only
mom's favorite, too.
he's the only thing keeping the kids from going full on mutiny.
Mutiny as if this is a pirate ship.
Exactly.
Just
Well,
killing him in his
let
sleep.
me rephrase this from going full on patricide.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who's
If
the
that
heiress
did-
exactly? Oh, okay, so it's fine to kill you off then.
Yeah. It's like, so why do I
Maybe
need you?
that's why he keeps changing it, so he can't just kill him off. It's like, we're sick of your crap, man.
But yeah, and we did see at least 4 different dwarves in Klein. And presumably these aren't confirmed, but they make the most sense. We saw Doc, Grumpy, Sneezy, and Happy.
Yeah.
No, I can't wait till we see Dopey.
Oh my god, I forgot about Dopey. I cannot wait for Dopey. So yeah,
Anyway.
there's not really much to say about the Klein interaction other than Klein is fucking wonderful. So let's move on
Love
to
Klein.
the adventures of Ranger. Stabi, you've got the first half of that.
all right, so we open up with Ranger did not leave their map behind. Good to know. They have a conversation. I would also like to give a shout out to the animation crew because those facial expressions, those
Ruby,
transitions, dang.
I
love
love
you guys so much.
Ruby.
Seamless.
I loved Ruby in this episode. Her facial expression. Also, shout out to fucking the voice actors. Holy shit, they've gotten good at their jobs.
I'll give you all a hug.
Like,
We're so proud of you.
Lindsay did such a good job on Ruby this episode.
I think the experience of playing the character as well as the updated visuals on the face work, I think it makes it all just come together a little bit more.
Well, they don't have to. I don't like to use this word because I think it's the wrong word, but it's the closest one to what I can think of. They don't have to overact so much in the voice acting because they. I dropped a thing, but because they have more facial expressions to work with.
Yeah, I think prior to this, your voice work, you're typically trying to do a lot to try to convey the character in the vocally because you can't see enough to get across some of that. But now, with the updated visuals, we're seeing a lot more seamless transitions, a lot more facial expression. I think it's coming together better, and I feel like the character. Also, we've seen the character. We're starting to get their mannerisms.
Anyway, so Stabby, go on.
All right, so they're reading the map. We figure out, John's family travels around, does camping, prefers the wolf tail, I believe he called
I
it.
hope he comes out with
Yeah,
Carol's hair.
the Warrior's wolf tail.
I
Warrior's
hope he
wolf
has it.
hair.
It'll be dope. Just old John later on, just so done with everything.
All right, and then, so they're going along, and then they see the town, the village of Xion, and well,
Happy
everybody's.
story.
Yeah, no, it's not happy. I'm sorry if I lulled you in a false sense of security, but you would know this by now. And if you don't know this by now, why are you listening to us, not watching the episode? Anyway, everybody's made parallels to this scene to the scene in Mulan after the girls after a girl worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they all walk in, the village is completely ransacked. It's burning. Well, was burning. And there's dead people.
Yeah. And a dying person.
This is
And
the
a
first
dying-
time we see Ren legitimately upset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
so
this is the most we've seen out of this character the entire series.
when I was watching, if you compare Ren's walking sequence to before they got into the village to after, Ren is walking with some serious conviction. He's leaning forward. His fists are clenched. He drops his bag and he just goes right towards the first person he sees. He just goes into just all serious mode.
Yep. it's actually a little jarring considering what we've seen from the character so far.
Well, if we think back to, I believe, end of Volume 2, the finale, his reaction to not being able to go save the village that was being attacked because Vale Kingdom proper was being attacked, he was genuinely upset as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
But-
there's definitely something about that.
But even
There
then,
was-
he sort of was like, "This sucks, but oh well," because
Maybe because he didn't see it.
And it also comes down to, like, what do we know about the character? All we
Well,
know is that both he and Nora have nowhere else to go.
yeah,
Here's the thing. It was the beginning of Volume 2. Again, the thing where they couldn't go to the village because the freaking train exploded and da 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 da. I mean, at least we got to see Coffee being badass. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Totally worth it.
And then there's the bit at the beginning of Volume 3 where Nora goes on, again, the tangent about Ren and Nora not having anywhere else to go. And then at the end of that scene, after the guy dies, Ren walks away first, and then Nora follows him. And then they look at the symbol on the ground, like the giant horseshoe with the thing in between.
I think that was the Goliath footprint, like giant elephants.
see, I thought so too.
Elephant feet don't look like that.
But yeah, thinking about no, elephant feet have toes. They don't have hooves.
They
That's
are
like a giant yak.
skeletons?
No, they're
God
not.
damn you and your yak.
But
Sorry.
yeah, if it cuts back to Ren and Nora's face. Now, Ren's looking at the ground, and he's just all sort of serious, not cool with this. Nora's face changes too. It gets serious and they look at each other. Now, I'm thinking that they're probably familiar with bandit attacks because, like, maybe a bandit attacked their village and that's why they have nowhere else to go. But what if they're familiar with this thing on the ground and they know what's up? Like, what if that's the whole, we're foreshadowing that we're going to get into their his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Character development. Which
See-
would be
That's
awesome.
what it's alluding to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like Nora was worried about Ren, and then they saw the thing, and they had the look.
Yeah. Also, when Ruby, Jean, and Nora are talking about, getting the huntsman to another village, trying to save him, Ren is very visibly freaking out in the background.
Yeah, he's got the hands on in the back of his head. His
Mm-hmm.
gloves are still fabulous, by the
It's
way.
actually somewhat distracting given all the events. Everybody's talking in the foreground, he's in the background, but you see him acting in the back.
Mm-hmm. That was a very well shot scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really liked how that scene was shot because there is a lot of stuff in the foreground, but if you look at the background, you know what he's gonna say before he says it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that scene cemented to me that this is no longer a kid-friendly show.
It's like, we're going to get into some dark
Also, that
stuff.
huntsman was covered in blood.
Yeah,
Yeah!
Like,
It
legit-
was awesome.
legit blood.
Not the red bits of a dead grim, or not feathers, petals. No, that was blood.
He was bleeding from his mouth. He had a torso wound. He was bleeding. I'm so proud of the animation team. First blood.
Oh my god, Stabi.
Listen. Let me be
Well,
proud
actually,
of the animation team.
If you want to be technical, First Blood was with Blake and Yang.
But there wasn't actual
there wasn't blood.
blood.
Yeah.
Yang's arm, when it was bandaged, was covered in blood, and Blake had a bloody wound on her.
Okay,
stomach.
that's fair. That's fair.
Okay, on the bandages, okay, but like, first not covered blood.
Fair.
First open wounds.
Yep.
There you go.
Playing
Visible.
Specificity, the podcast.
Right?
So yeah, that's. Oh, also, we're gonna talk about Ruby's nightmares.
That was actually my points.
Yeah.
I have a bullet point list because I was typing as I was watching again. So, first off, as Alex said, Ruby's nightmares. First thing that we see in this scene after Klein makes Weiss laugh, it ends that scene into a creepy, like, white-centered, dark, bubbly, like, rimmed screen, and all you hear is Pyrrha yelling Jean multiple times. Now, that could have been because she heard Pyrrha's voice from the training video that he was doing, which I'll get into. But my thought is that, going back to the previous podcast, Ruby's silver eyes may have something to do with aura, because we saw that video repeat. Pyrrha never repeated Jean's name as she did in Ruby's nightmare. So possibly there is residual aura on the metal that was added into Jean's weaponry, and Ruby's just sensing it through her nightmares. And to drive the point home, really, it seemed that when Ruby woke up, she was like getting fed up with these nightmares, as if they were recurring for quite a while, and she's getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're led to believe that too, by the sense of like
It
happens once, and then it happens a second time within the same episode.
Right.
So I think we're led to believe that this has been happening for a short time. Although I think we're led to believe as well that she didn't know he was training.
Yes.
Right. Which brings me to his training. So, before I get into everything about the training, there's quite a dichotomy between the point where we see Jean changing his stance to Pyrrha's instructions and seeing Ruby in the background keeping silent. Ruby, this whole time, has kept on her brave face, smiling, giggling, except obviously when she was in the burned village, but that was then right there, that was happening. Ruby's internalizing all of the shit that she's been through, whereas Jean, assumedly nightly, is externalizing it into his training. Like, his strokes and his yelling are completely vicious and grief-stricken, which brings me to his sword strokes. Those shockwaves weren't just a sword swing effect. That could be either his aura going out of control or his semblance or something, because the shockwaves actually affected the scenery around him. The grass moved, the trees rustled every time he swung the sword in a, like, burst of energy almost.
I'm going to be honest. I think that literally all they're trying to show is the fact that he's swinging quite hard, not anything to do with.
I can't fully get behind that because, again, if it's on screen, it means something.
Like I said, I think they're just giving us a visual cue to show it. I don't think they're actually trying to give us anything about his aura or about his semblance.
Well, that's just me speculating, obviously. Like, I have no
Of course,
concrete
I'm just saying,
besides
like,
the waves.
from my perspective, I feel like they're just trying to say, hey, look, he's been working on this clearly
Yeah.
for some time, that he's getting it to the point where, like, okay, you are swinging that thing with some diction to your words, man.
Well, the other thing is that the blacksmith in the previous episode had both the sword and the shield, so he could have done something to the sword too.
True.
That is
I'd
true.
be very surprised if he didn't, to be honest.
Yeah. Other than just make the hilt look fancy.
Because otherwise, it's like, wow, you did a little bit of inlay work. Basically, he got bedazzled, but he didn't get bedecked for war.
Yeah, he kind of just, like, reinforced it instead of actually doing something to it. So, for 2 years, I was a fencer and training in sword fighting because it was just something I wanted to do. So, listening to Pyrrha's instructions, this has, like, nothing to do story-wise, but this just kind of irked me to a point because of how it was shown.
And keep your grip
I
tight?
don't think... Yes, okay. I don't think Jean would do well at all against another human or faunus, or like another huntsman or huntress, because the practice that he was repeating, now I don't know if there are other practice videos he has on his scroll or anything, but she keeps telling him, keep your grip tight, and he tightens it to what we would assume would be a white knuckle grip. That is terrible for an actual one-on-one combat. Sure, cutting through Grim, perfectly fine. You need to hit hard, you need to hit to destroy. going up against someone who is another skilled fighter, completely detrimental. Not only does it lock up your muscles, but your strokes would be slower, more predictable, etc., etc. And that just kind of bothered me, because, like, if he's just listening to that one training video, he is not going to do well against another person. He'll take out Grim perfectly fine, but as soon as someone with finesse and skill shows up, he's going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're
again,
looking too far into it, though, to be honest.
Right.
I
Yes.
think that's looking way too far into it, because here's
Yeah.
the thing. What we've seen of him before, he's like a limp jellyfish, man. Like, I feel like his issue is that he's not having a tight enough grip early on. Like, okay,
fair.
you just
That's
lose
fair.
your sword entirely.
Yeah, 100%
by sword.
fair. That was just something that kind of, like, my training with swordsmanship was just like, hold on a minute, hold on.
And for
Yeah,
the
like,
record,
that
he's
was-
not a fencer.
Right.
No,
I
but-
also trained in broadswords and longswords, so like my thought process was, hold on. But again, like that is completely speculation and just my personal
Like,
point of view. There.
He fights Weiss, so yeah, she whips his ass because A, she knows what she's doing, and B, she fights the fast way.
Also, she practices literal magic.
Yeah, straight up necromancy. Like, sorry, you didn't have a chance to begin with. Let's summon your dead girlfriend back into this fight and see how well you do.
Wow!
Oh,
Wow!
I'm gonna get so
Wow.
much hate mail after this.
wow.
I
I'm
have
too
really points
uncommitted
to bring
about
up.
Satan Schnee, and then and now this is not gonna end well for me.
I have 3 more points to bring up to get off the topic of dead girlfriend there.
Way to bring it to a low place.
First off, I love the fact that Rooster Teeth put minute details into the scene where Ruby's waking up. To her little messy bedhead when her head was on the pillow. To
That
the
was
fact
adorable.
to the fact, yeah, right? To the fact that you can see everyone's weapons laying next to their bedrolls. Like, normally people would just like gloss over that when they're making things and be like, oh no, they're just sleeping with it in the bedroll or whatever, it's equipped to them. But they actually put it like, yes, these weapons are here. These weapons are like in the world. They're
You
right
wake
there.
up, you're grabbing that thing immediately.
Right, because
It's not in your sleeping bag where you're gonna have trouble reaching it. It's like, no,
Yeah.
if something's happening, I'm getting up and stabbing something.
Yeah, because a lot of artists, to make the load easier on them, wouldn't animate the weapons themselves being sat next to them when someone's walking across screen. So that was very that's like a wave to the animation team there, because that was impressive to me, because I love being able to see characters' equipment, and just seeing the weapons there was like, oh wow, they actually put detail into that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So proud.
Speaking of gear detail, I love the fact that Jean's armor is asymmetrical to an effective degree as well. His pauldron is only on the defending arm, whereas the gauntlet on his sword arm goes higher up on the bicep than the one on his shield arm, because the shield arm, it's all one piece connected with hinges. The gauntlet on his sword arm is like sectioned off to protect, but also give him complete free movement. And I really enjoyed that little, I guess, gear detail into that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that was just something impressive to me. Apologies. But
No, I liked it too.
characters, man, characters.
Characters.
I think they're trying to get the art scale to be a little bit more
Yeah, they're doing fantastic.
realistic. I'm not saying they're talking to real fencers because, well,
Obviously not.
but the art at least is very mind. Not to mention, I hate to play the card, but look, asymmetrical armor just looks cool.
Always does.
It
Always.
just does. It doesn't look as goofy, so it's like, you know what? Not to mention, if you think about it, well, if you know about the human body, the clavicle, that little bone at the top of your body where that pauldron's going to be, that's the sharpest point and one of the sharpest points in the human body.
Mhm.
You want to shoulder tackle somebody? That's a good spot to do it because that's a sharp part of the body. The downside,
Party.
it is flimsy as crap.
Right.
It's like, so yeah, let's put something there, and we'll hope that on the other side you use your big metal shield to deal with that, because you get hit right there, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last point I wanted to bring up is Ruby is growing up so fast. When she wakes up and goes to see John, she stays silent. She realizes what John is doing is, 1, grieving, but 2, could be potentially detrimental to himself. But she does realize that yeah, this is how he's gonna grieve. This is how he's gonna get it out. I'm gonna let him be. And she just walks away and goes back to sleep. Like, that was so impressive to me. This little 15, 16-year-old girl is noticing that this is how he's going to deal with his grief and lets him deal with it his way.
I think it also comes into the fact that this is something that's immensely personal.
Yeah.
Right.
This is nothing to do with you. It's like, so in a sense, it's like, I don't belong here, and if I interrupt it, I'm going to make things worse.
But like, she's picking up on it now is my point. Like, in the
I don't even think she's picking up on it. I think she literally just feels like, no, this is not for me.
That's what picking up on it means, Lee.
I think there's implying more thought there, is that she's intentionally saying, you know what, he needs to do this on his own. Whereas, like, no, I'm intruding. Is the only thing I'm putting on.
That's fair. I just wish Ruby would actually deal with her grief. You know, like, because she's not.
She's bottling it up.
At
I feel
all.
like it's gonna reach to a breaking point where she just goes full on Silver Eyes Berserk again.
I'm almost willing to bet that's how it works, even.
Maybe.
Because we've never seen it until now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, why is the only time we see this after what I would theorize is probably the worst day in this person's life?
I think that's a pretty safe bet, Lee.
Because like, what I'm jumping back to the end of Volume 3 real quick. When she watched Penny fall, she was grief-stricken. Obviously, she was on her knees. She had lost it. Then she fought a Nevermore with one of her swords. Okay, she had dealt with it in that moment. But she didn't have time to grieve. She didn't have time to process it and deal with it. But as soon as she lost another friend, that's when she went berserk. It got to the breaking point. So I think as soon as she reaches her breaking point again, somebody is going to either die or get seriously maimed again, like Winter.
You mean Cinder?
That's what I meant. Apologies.
I was about to say, I was like, are you speculating Winter gets killed by Ruby? Because my God, you got two Schnees in the call. Wow, that's worse than me ostensibly saying Satan Schnee is not entirely that evil.
No.
Like, no, Ruby kills
Cinder.
Winter.
I meant Cinder. We were just on Winter for so long. Like, I kept saying Winter. I was like, oh yeah, this sounds right.
But yeah. And
So-
I believe we are going with currently the group consensus is the silver-eyed flash of light thing was an animation decision to show that Ruby went fucking nuts, like fucking ape shit on Cinder, right?
For those of you who don't know Berserk, apologies, but I want to bring it to
That
Guts'
anime.
Berserk armor, because when he goes literal berserk, the armor kind of takes over him and he becomes this literal harbinger of death. I feel like that's what they were going for with, again, the animation of Ruby's eye wings.
It might be like I don't doubt there is some sort of physical transformation, but I don't think it's just there's a flash of light and a grim dragon's frozen on top of Beacon now.
Yeah.
The fact that it's frozen, honestly, is what confuses me the most.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's not dead. Because Cinder got effed up.
Actually, I don't like. Are we speaking literal frozen here?
No, just frozen
don't-
in place.
We actually don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it.
Because the only time we see it is actually in the opening sequence where it actually looks like it's petrified.
Yeah, well, yeah, frozen.
Yeah, and it was mentioned at the end of Volume 3 that it was up there still.
Oh yeah, it's totally still up there.
Yeah, it's not dead.
I wonder if it's like it's a burst of aura that kind of clears the area of Grim by turning them petrified, and then whatever remains just sends the user into a berserk mode. Because obviously you had to do something to Cinder.
Oh, absolutely.
she
I mean,
did
Cinder
remember
looks like she got
Cinder.
chemical burns.
Mm.
Like,
Cinder is pissed.
I mean,
And Torna.
I don't
Yeah.
even think she's mad. She looks like broken.
yeah, like Cinder does not mad. She's afraid. I think.
Like, I have underestimated my position here.
Who was big guy again? Hazel? Did he
Hazel.
have a last name or was it just
Hazel.
Hazel?
No, just Hazel.
Just
Because I realized that he too had scars. I can't remember if they looked like cinders. I'm going to look it up right now, though.
I don't think so.
No, but he is the one who says we've dealt with her kind before.
Mhm.
Yes, that's the intriguing bit.
Which is why I was going back to the scars.
If it was him who dealt with their kind before or not.
Well, I doubt it was Tyrion, not to be cynical, but
Tyrion
I
is
feel like
far
Tyrion's
too
gonna get
eager.
wrecked.
Tyrion is
Like, he's
far
crazy,
too
but-
eager.
Yeah, he's like, you don't understand. Like, I feel like he doesn't know what he's getting into.
Yeah.
Back.
Whereas I feel like Hazel is the calm one. He's like, no, I'm gonna do this by the book.
Oh,
Well,
this is intriguing. Go on, Stabi.
back to the whole. Since we mentioned Tyrion, and back to the whole Ruby losing her mind, Silver Eyes thing. I'm gonna make a prediction that if Tyrion gets defeated because Tyrion was sent after Ruby, that Ruby does it. She would beat Tyrion by having the Berserk thing happen again, because we've noticed that Tyrion really likes hurting things. He gets too giggly.
Like, it seems to me that he's a sadist.
Oh,
Whereas,
absolutely.
Like the antithesis of Ruby's naivete.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's my prediction.
I just think he's far too eager to go hunting one of these silver-eyed warriors. He does not know what he's getting into.
Not that I think like Ruby's gonna kick his ass, because it's like I feel like he probably will, probably hurt him quite a bit. But it's like I think he's in the same position that Cinder was, where nobody told him the scope until
Yeah.
he needed to know.
Yeah.
So, real quick, jumping back to the first episode of season 4, we heard that Salem was going to put Cinder through a treatment. Now, she had dealt with a silver-eyed warrior.
She got
Ruby.
silver eye cancer, didn't she?
Oh my god. She dealt with a silver-eyed warrior, Ruby, and Hazel was the one who spoke up saying, we've dealt with their kind before. I'm looking at a blown-up image of him. He's got horrendous scarring just underneath his sleeves on both arms. So I wonder if Salem had possibly re-stitched his arms after dealing with a silver-eyed warrior. Obviously, complete, reaching in speculation here.
With that skin crafts degree?
You are absolutely right.
They're terrible scars. They look as if someone had either sat there and scraped the skin off and they scarred, or if they were reattached at some point.
You're absolutely right. I'm looking at a picture of him.
So I'm wondering, and I don't know if this is lighting or not, but on the picture I'm looking at, his left arm, I had to turn myself around to choose that. On his left arm, the skin underneath the sleeve is brighter where the scarring starts. Again, that could be just shading or shadowing, and that could just be me looking way too into it. But these scars are intriguing me, especially when he's talking about silver-eyed warriors and then looking back at Cinder's scarring.
For those watching, I know I'm being the very conservative point here, but there is a certain point where we all are kind of agreeing that we don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Until we see it, we don't know.
This is literally all theorizing and reaching.
That said, there's something to be said about that. The fact that he's the one that brings that up is interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Because does that entail something? Does that entail something about Summer? Does that have something to do with? We just don't know, man. And I'd sure as heck like to know more.
We'll just have to wait till, well, actually 2 days now, or a day. If
Probably 3 weeks until we get any information on that one.
Load.
Yeah, it'll be a while, I think, before we get anything about the new villains.
In fact, I'd almost bet that's our that's our finale level.
Yeah.
Details. That's something that's gonna be after Tyrion gets his shit kicked in.
I just want to see Winter in this volume, please.
Let Winter just kick the crap out of Tyrion. Just let it happen.
No context, no reason for her to be there.
Yeah, she just walks by on the street. It's like, this guy just he just stepped in my boots.
You know how I alternatively.
Do you know how long it took to fix this gig line? Sorry. That's a military thing for anyone who doesn't know your gig line.
Alternatively, another way for Winter to come in is that, can't you just kick Crow in the face? It's like she just
Oh my
shows
God.
up.
She already did once.
No, just straight up boot to the head. The reason why she's gone is she's been looking for Crow to get like answers about what happened. She finds him in like a bar in
You
Mistral.
drunken idiot, what do you know?
No. In the middle of Crow's, like, I'm giving important information right now monologue.
Flying kick.
Yeah. Literally
You fuck him into the room.
out of nowhere. Out
The
of
semblance didn't
nowhere.
work.
She does that like off-screen dive kick pose and just slams into his face.
Exactly.
Yes, I approve of this.
Look, I'm just saying, if Ruby Abridged ever becomes a thing, we need that.
RWBY Bridge actually is a thing.
We need that one scene to exist. That's all we need. The entirety of Ruby will make sense after that.
Yep.
So where are we at now, guys?
That's it, really.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Any closing thoughts? I've got one. Screw you, animation department, for kicking the dog while it was down with the Pyrrha.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was
It's
like,
like,
oh, you.
by the way, you remember when we did this? Yeah, we did this, and then we Titanicked it. And
I
by the
still
way, we
feel
did
like
this.
there's more to be said on that storyline. But that being said, man, they are kicking the dog while it's down.
I can't wait for next episode to see Blake, because if they're just
Presumably.
I want,
if
I
they're
would
going in
assume
the
she's the
Ruby
next
fashion,
one, right?
I want my
Right.
cat child.
Because we
Let me
started with
catch up.
Ruby, and
got
now
Weiss.
we had Weiss. So Blake would be next in theory, and then Yang after that.
Mhm.
Listen.
I feel like it's worth mentioning Yang has I feel like Yang doesn't have very much to do presently, because I feel like she has a lot of off-screen to do.
Right.
Yeah, she has a lot of character stuff to do, but it's going to involve a lot of sitting there and thinking about herself, which is not
You're
interesting to
meditating
watch.
With, depressed dad.
Gonna get a lot of flashbacks. Gonna get a lot of internal monologuing.
Here's the thing, though.
I
My
wanna see
God, I hope
Tyan.
Raven shows up for that.
Oh
I
my
want to
god!
see more on this.
Can Yang just punch her in the face with her arm?
I don't know. I feel like she's getting pretty good at them telefrags. I don't know if you want a PO bird bomb.
I just want her to try. She
Look,
deserves-
Neo lost her shit the instant she saw her. It wasn't even like you did anything. It was just like,
He was just like, nope. Mm-mm.
I ain't paid enough for this.
She's got a Gatling gun of katanas. Nope.
Look,
Dust
I don't know how to make that any
katanas.
better than it already is.
It's a Gatling gun of dust
The
katanas.
Guntana, man. Like, how do you outdo it?
No. Blake's got the
Katanas.
Guntana.
The
It's a
Gatling
Gat-
Guntana.
Yeah, no.
Look, all I'm saying is, Coco, come on, let's hook this up.
Raven's got the Cat Gunna. It's very different from the Guntana.
Easily mistaken. But
Yeah.
Look, they're dust blades until I'm proven otherwise.
I
I
absolutely
think
think
they
that.
were even confirmed to be. I thought that was like,
I'll check that
That's
I
later.
thought somebody had brought up the different colors.
Raven's
Yeah,
weapon
maybe
is literally Murdernaster on steroids.
I'm you, but stronger. Any other comments, though, people? What do we got?
Happy to see Blake next episode, probably.
If it's gonna be anything, if Blake shows up, it's
Look,
gonna be
we just need
exact.
pure cat mom. Too good for this world.
It's
Cat
gonna
parents.
be how. It's gonna be how Alex responded to me the morning the episode came out. He woke me up with just screaming in all caps and italics on Discord, and I didn't even open Rooster Teeth's page yet. And I'm like, okay, so Weiss is in this episode.
And then when he responded, it was just,
Well,
A good 2
Yeah.
minutes straight.
we had
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
was.
screaming when I finally got home and watched the episode.
Yep.
I got a voice chat with Alex and we just started screaming about it.
Yep. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It got a little chaotic there for a bit during the Jacques parts, but that's
For
what
the
happens.
record, I'm not defending Jacques' knee. I'm just saying I'm not committing yet either.
What about his
Lee's
knee?
telling people to not send him hate mail.
What about Jacques' knee?
If you send me hate mail, I'm just gonna delete it. I'm
Jacques' knee.
sorry. I really don't care enough to answer hate mail.
He's not the Schnee's knees.
Oh my
That's what
god.
we're saying.
Look,
No,
I'm just
he is the
saying when
Lorax.
Lorax shows up.
Exactly. He speaks for the Shnees.
I need to get away from all these puns.
Oh, you can never escape.
You're gonna love the Yang episode.
Good lord.
Look, I'm always baffled why I don't run a Yang blog. That is exactly why.
All right, we've been going pretty long. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a little chaotic. Apologies for that. We'll try to keep a little more structure next time.
If you expect us to be professional,
I'm
sorry to disappoint you. You're listening to the wrong group of people.
But yeah,
we couldn't be professional if we tried.
we will see you next episode. Bye.
Bye.